feeling like deja vu. Feeling like, it's feeling like deja vu. Don't know what to do. Should I let go of you? Deja vu. Don't wanna repeat of your love. I've had enough. Don't wanna repeat. You better prove to me tonight. Cause it's feeling like deja vu. Feeling like, it's feeling like deja vu. This ain't feeling right. Cause it's feeling like deja vu. Feeling like, it's feeling like deja vu. Know what to do.
Welcome to this week's episode in the open. You will notice this week that our queen is not in the house because she's in Denver. But as we in the Bronx, we say Denver. Denver, is that Bronx enough?
Can you believe it?
But I'm so happy that she is not in the Bronx petting her pussies again, like she took it a little national, and that she's somewhere else doing it because I was feeling bad for my queen. But Apollonia, we love you. Have a safe flight home, and we will see you next week. But this week, we are not short of any shade or humor.
At all.
I have with me my Brister, my other half of my demonic soul, the wicked in me, my beautiful friend right here, who is a singer, songwriter, community outreach educator, activist, philanthropist, pessimist, lots of times.
Something.
I call him Elfie because that's my Elfie, but you all know him as Riqi Vélez. Thank you.
Ooh, thanks for having me. It's so good to be here. Once again, I came a while back, but y'all didn't watch that show, but now you're watching now, aren't you? Yeah, you are.
Well, we're very excited to have you. I'm incredibly excited that you're here because I just have so much fun with you on the regular. So being on a show together, it's not going to be anything short of entertaining.
That's true.
But today a lot of people have went crazy because it's 2/22/22
on a Tuesday.
And there's all this stuff running on social media. This will never happen again in your lifetime. Well, let me tell you something that will never happen again in our lifetime. My virginity. I mean,
no shit.
That thing went out the window over 20 years ago, and nobody made a big deal about that. And that was a once in a lifetime thing.
Because it was at a rest area on what, I-95 somewhere?
I think so. I'll have to go look later, Google search it. The only person prancing around is the one who took it. That was the best 2 minutes of his life that I'll never get back.
At all, ever.
I'll never get back.
Ever.
How do you feel about 2/22/22? Does it make any difference to you?
No, everyone says, oh, it's a palindrome and a bump. I'm like, oh, that's cute, but I'm a nerd, so I was like, that's cool. But after that, I'm like, I'm busy.
And you think every day will never happen again. So regardless of the date, this moment, this day will never happen again. So each day is something that will never happen again. But to all the people out there who love numerology and see something special about 2/22/22, all the love and power to you.
It is an angelic number. It means that the angels are guiding you and do keep the faith because you're going the right way. That is in the numerology angelic number.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I love that you know that. Like, Elfie is such the Rosie O'Donnell of my life. Like, just knows
useless information.
Useless information. Like, I love it. CVS? Do we have CVS's in New York?
How do you spell that?
Our CVS. So I had a teacher years ago, and he knew what CVS was, Consolidated Value Store. Like, just
right. Like, I don't shop
useless
there.
information. I mean, I hate to say useless. It's funny to say that, but just to talk about that. But also today, I learned from my cousin Noemi that it's National Margarita Day.
It is.
I tell you, I have to honor liquor because liquor.
You brought her.
I will, because liquor has served me in my life. It has given me a restraint.
I mean, look at the outfit. He has to be drunk to wear that, right?
Half of the people on the MTA are still riding the MTA because I have liquor. So, in honor of National Margarita Day, to my Elfie, and I thank you to you.
Cheers.
Have a little
Salute.
sip.
Happy Cinco de Cryo.
I know. I feel like this National Margarita Day is a few months too early. Like, it should be in May.
Good.
But this week we wanted to do our regular thing where we recap the RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh yeah.
You know, so in this week there were no people in the bottom because there are no bottoms left, at least in the Bronx.
Right in the
At
Bronx.
least in the
Are you
Bronx,
kidding me?
there are no bottoms.
How nice.
But there were no one was in the bottom this week. However, there was a maxi challenge, I think they called it, right? Where they did more acting. I don't
did.
love the acting stuff.
Daytona
I mean, it's
wins.
cute, but like I feel like they overkill with the acting
They
challenges.
did. And it is cheesy and campy, but I think it's supposed to be that way.
No, I love the
I
cheesy and campy. It's just like the acting part is not
Yeah.
and you have a lot more experience with drag, so correct me. But when I think of drag, I'm not saying that drag artists won't do acting.
No.
But I don't look to them to entertain me with acting per
Right.
se.
I
So
think-
when these challenges come up in RuPaul's,
Yeah.
it's just like I want to see y'all girls make some fierce clothes. Like that's what makes me
Very
excited.
Project Runaway. I love that part.
Yeah,
I do.
I look for that.
I think Rue's just preparing them for whenever, if should they ever have to host a show, to do the improv and have to be on the show and introduce people, stuff like that. Or even
Okay.
TV. I mean, look at people who used to be drag and now women. Laverne Cox started off drag. I knew her back in the day, working at Lips, 2001. I was only 8 years
love
old.
Lips. But what was the challenge called? The wins of
Daytona wins.
Daytona wins. So the funny part of this this episode was that the queens didn't know that as they were being filmed, it would be edited later, that everything they said would end in a flatulence.
Yes.
And I just tell you, what? As I watched that, yeah, you couldn't help but laugh. And there's people, I have friends that say, oh, farting is funny. But I actually think it's the most disgusting thing and turn off, like, farting. Ugh. Like, I mean, for me, like, and if I had, and I tell you, I'm one of them people, when I have a lover, I mean, not even a lover, my friends.
One day.
I will rather an organ explode in my body with gas in it than to let some gas out. I just,
But-
no.
But how about whenever they put, boys have queef too. So what about when that happens? It makes me giggle. I laugh. And I'm like, what is that? It's talking to you.
Well, I mean, yes, that's true. But I mean, you really can't help that because it's like a suction. It's like,
But it's like a
it's
fart.
like
It's
pulling
still
it
making the
out.
noise. And
Well, I tell you this, it's making the noise. However, you're not getting the odor if you are a person with good hygiene.
Hello.
Like you're not getting the odor, so
you're a
be
good old
up
baby
on your
bottom.
hygiene.
Right.
So the flatulence part there, it's not even flatulence. It's called, you said queef.
queef.
Is what it is. But just farting in general, oh my gosh, I have never farted.
Remember that time I farted in front of you and you were like, Alfie, you've never sounded so good.
Oh, I did.
I died.
That was the best note he ever said.
It was an accident.
But would you ever fart in front of your lover?
I try not to. I try
Okay,
to. Oh,
okay.
you kidding? I'm the kind of person who I
Okay,
wake
no.
up 10 minutes before to put my makeup back on.
I hear you. So I would never do that. But that was really, really funny. And I also, this week, we had the character Diabetes, who is just so bitter. I mean, at least they paint her bitter, so let me just be nice. But as I was telling you, I think that these shows don't run in sequence. I feel like it was so ironic that she had this whole storyline where she was bitter, and I'm not, in the top 2 whenever. And coincidentally, this week she's in the top 2, and she has the most amazing outfit. Where for weeks, like she was just,
I mean,
not up to par.
this is why, this is why some of the queens, let's just put it out there, this is why some of the queens don't talk to Rue anymore or are even on the WoW network because they told the tea about scriptedness. Let's just, that's a possibility. Big
Yeah, and I mean,
possibility.
and I get that too. I definitely understand that. Regardless if it's reality TV, so to speak, and it's actual competition supposed to be happening in so to speak, real time, it's TV. It has to be scripted. I mean, and I always tell you because you were just so fearless, and every time there is an audition for The Voice or
America's Got
Talent, like you go out for it, and
The Bachelorette.
and I just you have to know that when you're not chosen,
Yeah.
it's discouraging.
Yeah.
But don't own it because they have a script and they're looking for that look in that person or the person with the saddest story this week to keep you, the audience, engaged. Because if you were not, a character of yourself, so to speak, in a sense, when you're doing TV,
Yep.
people don't want to watch.
They don't.
You know, and it's a balance. Like, you can't be a total buffoon.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? I can say that word?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, you also like, you know, you have to have a balance between, you know, being humorous, but also having something educated to offer forward as
Right.
well, right?
TV, you know, like Ratchet TV makes money, so we want to see the villains. We want to see the fools who fall to their face, which is why sometimes they pick people who they know darn well shouldn't be on that show, but then they're like, oh, let's see what happens and put them in here. So
I know. I think
it happens.
I feel like this season though, like, you know, maybe they should be hanging up the wigs next season because they haven't really found any new like. I don't know if the word format is right, but
Or
anything
gimmick or something.
anything, yeah,
something new.
gimmick. Like something.
Well,
to
now they have the
bring to
candy
it.
bar. So before you get booted out, if you have a gold candy bar, you get a second chance. If you're voted off, or if Rue says you gotta go, but you gotta look at your candy bar.
Or
But-
and they probably keep those chocolate bars in certain places so that the crew can change it out and say, "Give it to her this week."
I think so. I think
'Cause
so.
It's not going to be random. I mean,
No.
actually, last week when Maddie Morphosis, the cisgendered heterosexual,
Yes.
was assassinated away, I totally thought they were gonna save her with the gold bar.
Oh,
but
I was hoping
it didn't
not.
happen.
Her Kmart ass needs to stay off. Go ahead.
So when we were talking this week,
We were.
You as an activist, and Elfie is such an activist for anything and everything. You know, really is that big.
You got it? I'll do it.
Big brother and big sister that is out there fighting for equality and fighting for justice in every sense for everyone. So when we were talking this week about topics for the show,
Yes.
this topic I wanted to speak about last week, and then I mentioned it to you this week, and I saw the fire in your eyes.
It was fire?
Like you just stopped, you just checked out, and now you were investigating what's going on. So
But Fireball?
yeah, not fireball. But we were talking about this shelter that I
Yes.
was not familiar with, and even Elfie, who like is the king and queen of all knowing, didn't know that we have a shelter in the Bronx since 2017 called Marsha's House.
Marsha's house. Marsha P. Johnson.
And it was named after Marsha P. Johnson, who, Elfie, you can tell us who she was?
She was she's the reason why we have gay rights. She is the first actual known identified mover of the Stonewall riots. She allegedly threw the first, it could have been a brick or a shoe. The jury's still out. She threw the first punch.
And yeah, so thank you for that. So like to me, like that's pretty like wow. Like you named this shelter after Marsha P. Johnson. And why I'm just highlighting that is because there's this story running now of these really appalling, disgusting, alleged accusations that the residents of this Marsha P. Johnson's house, a lot who are transgender, are, you know, being assaulted sexually and verbally.
The girl's name is Unity.
Yes.
Yes.
By security there. By security there. And, you know, I read the story last week and I saw some of it, but you sent me your story today,
Yeah.
and it was much more in depth. Here in the Bronx, you know, this shelters resurrected specifically for LGBT youth,
Trans.
trans,
Yeah.
you know, who are huge populations, known to be homeless because, you know, families turn them out and other circumstances, and we build this shelter for them here in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And mind you, back in 2017, it was pushed hard by a politician.
Riqi Torres.
Riqi Torres,
Hi,
who
Riqi.
is correct me. Did they say he was the first openly gay
First openly gay congressman.
congressman? He pushed it hard for that shelter to be opened, and now in this time with all these accusations coming forward and disgusting stories, he neglected to comment. He just had nothing to say,
No
which
comment.
I think is very sad because, you know, when does the fight stop?
Yes.
And when you have a platform and you are from any community that is an oppressed, marginalized community, when do you stop? And I don't care if you move to another state, another country, you know what? You always have to come back to, you know, your roots. But at the same token, something that I always say on the show is that, you know what? we are not progressing if
Right.
any of our brothers and sisters anywhere in this global construct are suffering in any sense.
Right.
Cause you make some strides here, it has to be a global stride. It
Yeah.
cannot stop here.
It
So I
does.
was really saddened. Were you saddened to hear that Richie had no comment?
Didn't think he would do that until I read the article. I was like, no, he has to have had it. But it's not only in Marsha's house. It's also, I work at a place, and we have a drop-in center, and the youth has shared with me confidence that other centers also do that. Ones that are aimed at LGBTQ youth, which includes trans, but it's usually the trans. There's racism going in, there's transphobia, there's homophobia. These agencies that have buku money that they're getting paid cute, California, and Covenant House and stuff like that. And that's not fair, you know? I'm saying, like, you get all this money, why are you treating our youth that way? And I say our because they're our kids. So what's going on?
Yeah, of course. It's incredibly disheartening, and I want to investigate this personally on a personal
We should
time
go undercover.
with you, but I need to find out about this because, you know, that's something I would like to be involved in. I think I voiced that to you before.
Yeah.
But just to add to what you were saying, even myself, I work for a well-known medical institution with money to, like, feed, like, countless countries. And, you know, we have clinics within this hospital institution because insurances, who are another monster, you know, we have clinics that just take certain insurances.
Right.
But the point I'm making is that here, this government-funded insurances and like everybody's help, you know, to come with a level of professionalism and respect.
Yeah.
And you know, these clinics, I don't know who they hire. Like, they're hiring people
Minimum wage.
that,
Anybody
you
who needs
know,
a job.
it was like a work, or like wealth. Sorry, I don't know. There was a term some years ago. It was like welfare to work. I called it. They called it maybe in Philadelphia. And it's like these people. It's like, you know what? Yeah, you need a job, but you need people skills. You know.
They need to be qualified. I mean, look what happened to the last president. Hello, really, girl?
You know, you go in there and, like, these people deserve care. Like, you are in a very vulnerable state.
Right.
And you're coming, you know, to be rehabilitated or given some type of care, you know. But some of the things that they were saying is, like, you know, they were having, you know, sexual acts that were filmed on some of the residents.
Somebody ejaculated on her pillow.
Yes.
Yeah. A security guard and staff member recorded it.
And this article, and again, alleged, you know, but it's saying that the security guards, talk about staffing, you know, are staffed, you know, from, they said other countries, right?
Oh, yeah.
Other countries, and may not even be qualified, you know, to, you know, for the position of security. So recently, you know, management has changed. So there was I wrote the name here, a woman named Perez. Not my people.
It's his mom.
But you know, she was trying to do a lot to make change. But they recently changed it over to another woman. Name is Luna. But she walks in.
That's her first name?
No, it's the last name. I can't remember the first name.
Okay.
I did write them here. Forgive me. But she walks in and she's saying, "Oh, you know what? I've seen nothing. I have seen nothing."
Of course not.
And I feel like, you know, all of us can attest to a story like that.
Turn a blind eye, Evita.
You know, they hire someone in a position with the intention, come in and
Yeah.
change the story,
Of
change the
course.
story. But we in the Bronx and globally and nationally need to keep an eye on this story.
Yes.
And we need to do better because these youth deserve the respect and
Take
the
care
care
of our kids.
that they
Take
need
care
because
of our
they are the
kids.
future here for us.
Take care of our kids, and they are our kids. I can't have any. You know, I've been trying forever, but my eggs are dry. So these are our kids.
So something else that we were pushing that we're going to talk about this week,
We're pushing.
and I know it's very sensitive for you.
Happen.
So we were going to talk about gay marriage and gay divorce.
Gay marriage.
And you know what? I know that you...
I fought for it.
I know. So did our queen. We love you, Apple.
Back in St. Olaf.
And I know that you've done both because you're an overachiever.
Yeah, I you know.
Overachiever.
I just want to get it done with.
So how did you feel about it?
I hated that.
I know!
hated it.
So, like-
gay marriage. Let's just call it marriage because, come on, really? It's just marriage, and we're equal rights. So now it's recognized, and gay divorce is the best. Come on.
It is. But I tell
It was
you,
the best diet I had. I lost like 45 pounds. Now I'm happy. And I'm
but people out there,
lucky.
get married for the right reasons. Don't get married because you can, and don't get married because he has a 10-inch foot. Like, get married for the right reasons. And I'm so happy that back in my day in St. Olaf too,
1907.
I was not able to get married. I honestly was proposed to by all my long-term relationships.
All of them?
All of them.
All 2 of them?
We never got married, but no, it was like 5. and I'm so glad because like that would have been something really like foolish for me to do and been in a hard situation. And I'm even more glad that I cannot birth children because I would have my own Jackson 5 right now.
I thought you were 3 months already.
Which
but it's okay.
which would have been great because I would have taught them all
He
to
said
play
Jackson
instruments.
5. You ain't right.
I would have taught them all to play instruments so that they could be my band. So yeah, so gay marriage or any marriage, as Elfie says, you know what? Yay, that is there, but do it for the right reasons. Don't just get married because like there's a lot more that goes into it than it's just love.
Don't do it because it's a fad. Don't do it just because you can. Make sure you want to be with this person forever, ever. And don't do it. Please don't do it straight out the gate. Love at first sight does not exist. That is something Disney made up. Okay.
And let me tell you that thinking about marriage, I want to know where my Romeo is at because I read today that in the last decade, the LGBTQ population has doubled. So if you
Doubled?
they've doubled.
How did they? You mean they came out?
Well, the news stories.
All of a sudden,
let me tell
you get me wet and like a gremlin popping up my back. Shoot, can I get one?
Look, I'm just giving
Wet
the
me.
headline. It says it doubled. But like you said, and then when you read the article, it's just saying, because, we're evolving in our world and our communities, that people are more, empowered and are more in a safe space to come forward.
Yeah.
To come forward.
Which,
to come forward. Sorry.
perfect. Which is like what happened with when the last 45, the president was out. That's when all the Nazis and all the racists and all the bigots came out because
hear me here?
they felt comfortable. So now that he's gone,
one of these mics gonna work.
we're back in charge.
I hope
you
you can
put
hear
both
me.
in your mouth, honey.
Anyhow, right here we're gonna go here. But anyhow, so people are identifying more and feeling safe to come out in the spectrum of
at first
LGBTQ,
sight.
and the biggest population to come out.
Number 3.
Thank you, producer.
Three's a
I love
charm.
you.
Three's a charm.
The biggest population to come forward, even in the last recent years, is our bisexual community. So even just to give some stats on it,
What's that doesn't exist, bisexuals.
So they said 21% of Generation Z is now identifying with something other than heterosexual, as opposed to Generation X, which was only 10.5%. That was our generation, right?
No.
Ashton never met. Well, I know.
I thought you were a baby boomer. Oh.
No, my mother was a baby boomer.
Your mother?
And it was only 3% then. But even Generation Z, which goes as young as 10 years old, we know that these individuals are now feeling a safe space to come out and be themselves and express themselves. And it's so amazing because, when you go through that pubescent years,
Pubescent.
puberty.
Yeah. I just like that word.
It's so sweet.
Spell it.
Those pubescent years, it is incredibly formative. That's like another like a huge hurdle from once you were like a toddler, what you learn. But I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very excited to hear that. We are out here.
That means I might get a date. Just saying.
We're trying.
Not that there's double the amount.
We're trying.
If I don't,
we all want a date here.
That's like when Ricky Martin came out. Everyone's like, "Aren't you happy? Why? Another gay man that doesn't want me? What the hell do I want that with that?"
I know.
Come on.
I know. So
Pansexual is the new bisexual.
shout out to all the LGBTQ people who are coming forward, who feel safe, and who feel they're able to express themselves,
Comfortable,
and
yes.
be respected. Because you know what, that's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge. Where's the world, and
We are
the
the
race
world.
gonna go? You
Yeah.
know, because people,
I welcome you.
I mean, imagine the evolution of the mind, even of this generation who's been oppressed so much, of what they're going to contribute and offer to the next.
Right.
So this is incredibly amazing for everyone.
It's also maturity more in the youth. They get mature younger because they are more comfortable with coming out at 14, 15. There's an amazing little young man, Desmond is amazing. That's his name. And he came out when he was 9, I believe. He's the first child drag queen, and he came to one of our LGBTQ proms last year, and he gets so much. Him and his mom, they get so much hatred on the social medias, but he has more courage in his little pinky than any of those bigots online. So.
Well, shout out to you, Desimon. All love, all day. Is that right?
Desmond is amazing.
Sorry,
That's his whole
Desmond.
name.
Pardon me, Desmond. Shout out to you. All love to you, and continue to be yourself 110%. And you are the future. You really are the future. Because that's gonna make the change in the world. We can't just keep.
He's a role model. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, I think that takes care of our first half here. It goes so fast.
It does.
Especially when someone's talking to me.
Oh, you mean when someone's listening? Right.
We're gonna take a break here, but when we come back, we still have more show. We have an incredible guest tonight that I cannot wait to introduce to you and talk with. Mr. Manny
Carter.
will be here.
We're like Hoda
so stay
and Kathy
tuned.
Lee.
I got a tinkle.
Hoda and Kathy Lee right here. Can I be Kathy?
Hey everybody, I'm Lil D.
I am Javier Luis.
I'm Alex Polanco.
I'm Apollonia Cruz.
And I'm Kelly Caboose.
I am Shirley Phillips.
I am Emmanuel Ansule.
Do you know 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence
During their lifetime.
And domestic violence and abuse can happen to anyone,
regardless of gender, race, or other factors.
2 out of 3 homicide cases are
Females who were killed by a family member or intimate partner.
As domestic violence victims, they face high rates of depression,
Sleep disturbances,
anxiety,
flashbacks, and other emotional distresses.
And without help, witnesses of domestic violence are more vulnerable to become abusers themselves.
thus continuing the cycle of violence in the next generation.
Hello, I'm Charles Aloma. Join the LDM network and Safe Horizon and take a step into changing these facts. So if you are or know someone that is being abused, please call the City Domestic Hotline at 1-800-621-4673. So that is 1-800-621-HOPE.
Speak up.
Speak out.
And make a difference.
And just know that you don't have to deal with this alone. There is help.
As mighty armies clash in a struggle for total domination, the scales can be tipped by one man who has the courage to confront his fate and make a choice that will decide the fate of the world.
Guys put a lot of smoke in today. Wow. But anyway, we expecting a real superhero? I don't think so. The real life superheroes are the ones that are helping out in their community today. And the LDM show will be there to bring you the events and stories to life. Do you know a real superhero? Let us know. But for now, follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. Also visit our websites for photos, videos, and updates. But until the meantime, hey, I gotta be out of here.
Close that door, because now they're getting a little overboard.
The door tonight, I was really trying hard not to fan out because the man not only is beautiful, but he's a vibe.
Thank you. My God. He's so sweet.
He is definitely a vibe. So please welcome Manny.
Oh.
There you
Oh,
guys
hey, Manny.
Bro, what's
Applaud.
And something I want to get out the way before we lose time tonight is that in this world we live in, you get Instagram, right?
There's a mic
So on
missing.
Instagram, we have all these people people who are self-proclaimed models.
Girl.
Not talking about nobody.
Your mother.
And you know what? And that's great. You know what? I'm not hating on anybody's bag.
Yes, he is.
Their hustle. But I just want to say that, you know what? With beauty today, people have a lot of arrogance. They have a lot of just negative attitudes. It's just like they won't even partake or deal with people who don't compliment their status.
Right.
And when I reached out to Manny, who I only met like 45 minutes ago, let's just say that, 45 minutes
He was on the corner. We were like, come in. You want to interview? Holding an umbrella.
I just thought, okay, let me just try this, you know? And,
oh, now we have to hear it. Now we have to hear him.
The mics are like, shut up. But I reached out, and I just want to say the humility from someone that you see is like, it's just so strikingly, like, aesthetically, like, gorgeous, but just the humility, because you don't receive that from people. And I just want to thank him, because when I did reach out, he had no issue with coming on the show. He didn't want anything. He's like, let me just show up. And there were other people who say there are models in the community that wanted, like, they were a Ford model or modeling for somebody that do nothing but bartend in local bars. So whoever they are, but they were just like really like, they wanted something, and of course everyone gets what they need for the time, and I would do that. But they were just like outrageous. But Manny's humility, as you'll learn over the questions tonight, amazing person. Please follow him on IG. Focus.
Oh, that's all the time we have today.
.hope. And we're gonna move along to our questions.
See you next time, guys.
Now. But I just needed y'all to know that, because I just don't want this show to pass without that being said. So let me start with your question.
Oh, yes. So this is Manny. I'm the model, but he's the real model. So one of my favorite ones I was going to say. So Eleanor Roosevelt said, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. What is your hope for your career, your personal life, and your legacy 10 years from now? What do you want to do with this?
So in terms of my career, short term, I definitely want to get into acting and TV things. In April, I have some work going on with Tyson Plus.
Okay. The chicken?
It's a network.
Oh, okay.
It's an LGBTQ network.
Oh, is it? Tyson.
Okay. Also, long term, I definitely want to start an agency for other models. Definitely, I think that there's a market for models who are shorter in stature, and I think I just want to
Absolutely.
I think I just want to like make a platform for them as well. Yeah. In terms of my personal life, I want to move to a slower paced lifestyle. Definitely New York is not for me in the long term. I definitely want kids. And in terms of, what was the last part?
That was it. Your
legacy.
legacy. What do you want to be known for?
I want to be known for my positivity. I want to be known as the guy who was given nothing and made everything.
You've given me nothing, and I'm giving. He seems like everything. Round of applause.
Absolutely. So also, I wanted to ask. There was a story that ran last month, and there's this female model named Elizabeth Marie. Mind you, I don't know all the modeling she does, but she's definitely a Playboy model. So obviously it's a different platform than what you do in a sense. But she was saying in this article that it's because she's so beautiful, that because of her modeling, her platform, her status, it's incredibly hard for her to find people to date. People just want to date her because she's a Playboy model. People that date her don't see her with anything with substance. Yeah. So I want to ask you, as a male model, what's your take on that? And do you have the same, thoughts?
I would say that dating in 2022, period, is hard. But in terms of being a model and dating, I think there are people who are very superficial and only want to date you based on how you look. And I think that, hey, more power to you, whatever. But if you're trying to date someone like me, you're going to get more than beauty. You're going to get some brains when you come to the room, and you got to bring more to the table. I expect more from you than possibly myself. That's because right. I know what I bring to the table,
right.
Your
arm candy plus.
But I do know that there are stereotypes that are associated with being a model and being a face of something, but you don't get that here.
And what's your dating life like now? Or do you have one? Do you want one?
He's asking if you're single.
I
That's
am
not what
single.
I'm asking.
I am
but-
single. I am single, but
Uh-huh.
it's more so to take the time to learn more about myself and evolve as a person. And in the past, not knowing certain things about myself, I have like hurt people. So in order to know that I am ready for a relationship, I just want to take the time that's necessary to work on me.
That's
I
excellent.
love that. And just to add to this part of the conversation, and Manny and I had a private talk prior. But he's black and Puerto Rican. He was born in the Bronx, raised in Mississippi. He identifies as a cisgendered male. His pronouns are him, he, and his. Thank you, sorry. And he also identifies as a bisexual man for our viewers out there. And I thought that was very important. As I explained earlier,
Cheers to the
you know, the intention wasn't to exploit him, not that I'm exploiting him, but you know, me growing up, I didn't have anybody to like a face on TV that I resonated with. So I know we have viewers out there that need that, and I thought that was very important to highlight that for many. And so I thank him also for being open and letting us say this, you know, on air to you.
Yep, bisexual people are real. Look at them. Look, this is real. It's not an illusion.
And you know what? I always call bisexual people. I say they're greedy.
Greedy, right?
They're
It's like,
greedy.
pick a hoe. One side or the other.
They're greedy.
But I do have another question though, but that part was already answered because we
Hang
ran
on, the
into
producer
that.
wants me to answer the question here.
Manny,
so,
what type of modeling do you do?
Yeah, Enrique.
So
Only
I am a I am a freelance model. I do a little bit less in the fashion world, but I hope to change that eventually.
And you can find them Instagram, focus.is.hope, and you can follow all of us and know all of us. So please go follow Manny, please.
Yes. I do have a question that's not on here though. I did go on your Insta, and I saw that you write music.
I do.
What is that about? I was like, okay, then.
So
Competition.
So long story short, the purpose of me getting in front of the camera and starting to model is because I've been an artist since I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I went to school for music. Somewhere in between figuring myself out as a person and getting to where I am now, I became shy and bashful and not as confident. So putting myself in front of the camera was the best way I can figure to break all of that shyness, that bashfulness, and, you know, flip the script on myself.
That's amazing. That's it. And guys, I don't know if you saw me right now looking at you. His eyes are like dark on the outside and gold in the middle. I was like, no wonder you're a model.
Was that the margarita?
No, I was like, what? I kept looking at you. I was like, is it the light? Your eyes are light, right?
When the light hits it.
Yeah, I was like, what happened? I want those. Can I get those in a... Anyway.
So something I wanted to highlight too about you is that as go hard as Manny is as a model, and as go hard, he just explained to you as a recording artist to be, you know, he's also just as a go hard at being a positive force in this world. And I think that's something that all of us should aspire to, but especially in our community, you know, where we just tend to be like ratchet and messy and shady and all of those things, you know, which is for a certain place and time.
I feel very attacked.
I think, well, if the shoe fits. You know, I just want to ask you, what influenced you to want to be this person who's a positive force? And, you know, what good or bad influences have you experienced that said, you know what, I need to do this, I need to be this for myself, but also for the community and the world at large?
I think you questioned that like perfectly. But so I'm the product of adoption. I was adopted at a very young age.
Shut up. That's awesome.
My mom was a drug addict and she was found unfit. So I was about 2 weeks old when I was placed in the foster care system, and shortly after that I was adopted. But knowing that all along, it didn't change the lack of self-identity. It didn't change certain fears and angers that I had within myself about not knowing my family, not knowing my mom. So I think I was about 11 or 12, and I just remember being so angry as a kid, and one day I just said, I don't want to feel this way no more. I don't want to be angry at somebody that I don't even know, that I never even met. And from that day to probably this day, my perspective of life changed. When you focus on darkness and you focus on negativity, I think that, it angers you and you're in a certain headspace. But once that changes and you change your own focus and your own perspective, everything begins to get better.
So you made peace within yourself.
Definitely.
And in making peace in yourself, would you say that's how you've been able to want, the mission to like give positivity and peace forward?
Definitely, because from that day to this day, it's never negativity. I never focus on negativity. I never focus on the bad things that happen. If something's bad is going on, I focus on how can I get out of it? How can I make it better? How can I, that's the focus is what changes the perspective.
And, we keep saying, like, I guess the pun, but the focus is hope. Where does the focus is hope come from?
So my artist name is Focus. It's a name that was given to me by my oldest brother. Shortly
cute.
shortly after moving to New York, I realized that focus is something that's like not only my name, but it's something that I need. Like, I need reminders to stay focused. If you follow me on Instagram, which Frankie does, and now you do.
Absolutely.
But you see that my life is ziggity boom. I'm always on the go, always on the go, always on the go. So
ziggity boom.
So a lot of times I need reminders. I give myself little reminders. Hey, focus. Hey, focus on this, focus on that. And if you focus on your goals, you focus on positivity. Wherever you put your focus at, that's where your hope lies.
Amen. Amen.
I want to get to your question. I just don't want to ignore the people there. So
No,
there
I
was
was
a
gonna say,
question.
yeah.
How did you break into the modeling business was the question.
Oh, I just started taking my own pictures and posting them on Instagram, and through the power of social media. Social media is a very,
See what you can do?
great platform.
Focus, focus.
Through the power of social media, I started getting contacted by so many photographers. Shortly after that, brands, and the list has been building since.
Congratulations. That's not easy, but congratulations.
I appreciate
I should have
it.
like my own like plus size hashtag.
Let's go.
I'm in. I've taken enough pictures of myself, but I'm saying. So that's amazing that you're adopted. I love that. I have 3 adopted brothers, P.S.
Word.
Yeah, word. I didn't do it myself. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. See what happens when you adopt, have people like this. Positivity. Yeah! Stop, damn it. There's kids out there who need parents. What do you want to mess up your stomach for and stretch it out? There's kids out there who need moms and dads. Oh, my question. I was like, why is he looking at me? I was like, I think he was like, well. So, oftentimes, as an artist, we are offered opportunities that seem too good to be true. And so, we do research on said offer and background check. Have you ever said no to an opportunity, and how did you decide to say no?
So, quite recently, I had a really good thing going with an agency. And all of a sudden, the energy shifted, and things just weren't as positive or as good energy as I like to keep it. And I'm a very big energy person. So as much as I didn't want to let this opportunity go and this network go, unfortunately, I had to chop it. I had to chop it because it just wasn't good for the person that I am and the person that I'm trying to become. So I wasn't willing to sell my soul. So
I love that.
I definitely had to let that go.
Well, sell your integrity, basically, right?
Not at all.
Which is great, because, even if something's a good situation, I mean, I think, we entertain it for a moment, but you gotta know when to exit from it. I grabbed what I needed, let me go.
Yeah.
Because if you just stay past your welcome,
Definitely.
Don't get stuck and complacent. You got to move above it.
Definitely.
So my question I have for you now is, like, obviously we know that Manny's a model. He's definitely into fitness, as you can see the guns and stuff here. His shirt doesn't fit. But everyone, since whenever, fitness is huge. And I love that even as a model, he doesn't put his workout videos on his page. I haven't noticed that, which I think is like, people just work out, get in, get out. He may run on a treadmill for like 2 seconds, that's it. But he's saying focus. Yeah, but I want to know, what is your motto in regards to fitness, right? And tell the people, is it hard work to acquire your physique and maintain it? Or is it just like your DNA is like, that's what it is?
So one of my previous occupations, I was a personal trainer. My motto when it comes to fitness is go based on how you feel. Like, I know that we're all concerned about how we look. I'm a model. I have to be concerned with how I look. But you have to go based on how you feel, because that is what the goal is. You want to feel better. You don't want to just look better, because you can look good but feel like shit. And forgive me if I say
No, no, absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
I don't know what that's like.
you know, but you know,
Give me a cookie over there.
just go based on how you feel. And in terms of keeping the physique, and is it hard? Yes, it's really hard, because I am a foodie all day, every day. Me too. And
Isn't it always the people that like have six pack? Like I just eat all the time. Oh my
but then I throw it up later.
god!
That's how I stay so thin.
it's hard.
I'm like, I wish I had that problem.
I love food. If someone said Frankie
I
and
love
Manny
food.
should do a music collab.
Yeah, we heard that up
Yes,
there. I
let's
mean,
get it.
Well, we gotta hear you
that's,
first,
that's definitely a possible, because as our friendship evolves, it's something that can happen. So thank you, Enrique, for that. There,
Enrique,
we appreciate
Enrique.
that.
The name's so good. You
I
had to
like
call
the
it
name.
twice.
That sounds musical itself.
Enrique.
Do you have a name for yourself as a musical artist?
Focus.
Okay.
Focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Focus. And then no, I won't go there.
And
Focus.
I think you have another question.
No, that was it. I had my.
You had 4, didn't you? I think you
I
changed
had 3.
it.
Well, I'm not cheating.
You changed
anything.
it. Well, so let's divert back here. You talked about wanting to possibly have a relationship and kids. What are your thoughts on marriage?
You know what? I tried to get married when I was 21.
And why? And to who?
So I dated this girl from 13
I need a
to
drink.
21. Honestly, I thought she was the one. And my grandma had just passed, and my grandma loved her. So I proposed to this girl, and we were at each other's necks. Like, it just didn't work. But I didn't realize that there are people that are meant to be in your life and come into your life for reasons other than what you see them as.
Absolutely.
So I saw her as
Discernment,
a wife,
right?
girlfriend, and
well.
she's my best friend now. We did not make it down. She's my very best
She's
friend
that
now.
one. I need a drink.
Let's go.
Cheers. Cheers to her.
So there was a question up here. A viewer asked, "Have you ever faced sexual harassment in the modeling business?" Bobby Morales. Yeah. Like casting couch, I guess. Something.
So no, I have not. I'm like That's So Raven. I see the future. I see things. I try to see things coming before they happen. So I am one of those people who takes the signs, who sees it coming, and if I need to make an exit, I make an exit. I'm very direct and I'm very straightforward. So you'll know.
Okay, very good. Very good. And so besides the modeling, what does Focus, what does Manny do outside of that?
Outside of that, I am a physical therapist for older adults.
Hey, Laloma. He's a physical therapist. We gonna crack-a-lack you later.
And he said for older. Look what Frankie did. He said for older adults.
Peace out.
Yeah, baby.
I was going to mention Frankie because he's older. However.
I mean, okay, physical therapist, okay.
Where I also work with children privately. I am somewhat Manny the Manny. Like I work
Manny the
Oh,
Nanny.
we love that.
I used to be a teacher, and what happened is,
Okay, yeah.
is a lot of my former students needed like babysitters or mannies and whatever, what have you. And a lot of the families hired me privately to work with their kids because they just didn't want to have their kids graduate and let me go.
Yeah, and and to talk about the modeling too, like go check out the page focus.is.hope. I mean,
Focus
the man is doing a
underscore
lot
is
of things, and I
hope.
think it's tasteful things. Like it's really like legit work with amazing like photographers. And recently he was on a billboard in Vegas, which was incredible, overlooking Vegas. So congratulations, that was very exciting. The music that we heard you do recently, is there a single coming?
We're working on it. I'm finding my groove back into the music world,
right,
but
so-
that has been my first time in the studio in over a year. So I'm finding my groove, and yes, there's music to come, but I definitely want to find my tessitura, find my place in it first before I release anything.
Okay, no, that's very exciting. That's very exciting. No, it's a hard. It's a hard business, but I mean, like, I think what is so inspiring, which I learned tonight, is that your whole modeling, blossomed just off you just being persistent and putting your photos. Not that the way you looked didn't help. Didn't help that.
It didn't work for me.
But that's really. You're welcome, Bobby Morales. That's really amazing. To hear a story like that. One of ours from the Bronx, has made a really legit career in modeling in some form of art, through Instagram. And it's something that we all know can be attained, but it's just patience and persistence and drive and hustle, right?
And focus.
Keep your focus.
And the focus. And
Not a
definitely.
Ford Focus, but
Can you dig it?
and he's from the South. Spell Mississippi.
Oh, please. Oh,
I
my
hated it there.
I thought you were gonna say.
I think
Quicker
I
letter,
would.
quicker
I
letter.
don't know why. Like I've never been there, and it probably my whole thought is based off of just movies. That like I'm
Right.
afraid to go.
Me
I'm afraid to
Mississippi is
go.
ill, but
I
I
am
will tell you
afraid to
this:
go.
you learn respect and you learn humility. There.
Absolutely.
You
That's
will.
really good, because as we know, and you two both being from the South, it's just like values have not been lost there. There may be definitely the things that should be lost. But respect and values is something that the South has never lost, and I'm making sure that they hold on to it, which I love that. I love that. I definitely believe that up here, as we move forward to being more open and more expressive and being able to be ourselves, there's a boundary that a lot of us cross where we become disrespectful and we become ignorant and arrogant and down the line because we negate the values. And respect should always be at the forefront of all of us in whatever we are doing.
Definitely.
I thought he was praising.
Get the
you.
Bible out. Well, we are nearing the end, of our hour. This
God,
has
it went
been
by so fast
amazing.
when you did that.
I want to thank Manny for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
I think the conversation was incredible. And I hope that all of our viewers really got something from it. And I hope our viewers would see, another layer of our community out here. Because you know what? We're all vastly different, even though we're collective, and we all have something to bring to the table. Everyone has a gift, and it's just your duty to find it and put it out there. So focus is hope. Focus dot is dot hope.
Focus underscore
is underscore hope.
It's no dot. It's not a
There's
dot.
different- No, baby.
I've been putting
That
dots.
was
No,
the fake one.
baby,
That was a
that's the
fake
fake
page.
one.
Oh my
And
God!
you
With
can
this
find
thing.
me at any rest area
So
along the East Coast.
So because my
Phil
Elfie
twice.
is here, and this is what we do, we're gonna sing us out. Just not a whole song, it's a little blurb or something.
You can call me Kenny Belgrande
Kenny
instead of Supreme
Belgrande. And
and Cholito.
do you have your lyrics?
Oh, that's right. Look, because of
Yeah. Do you have
person.
your bifocals on, Elma?
put up your battery. All right, go ahead.
They're gonna watch Euphoria.
Hey, Euphoria.
Ooh, I love Zendaya.
One.
Dire.
Are you gonna start with the first?
Being in love. Got it?
Wrong. Yes. Go ahead.
I gotta belch from my
He's gonna belch.
Dun, 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 dun.
Not fart, but belch.
Being in love can be the hardest thing to do when losing a friend as close as you.
I need to feel once again like a child in love, but I don't. I can't help but to keep holding on, holding on. Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. Thank you all love all day to the lovers. Focus underscore dot is dot underscore dot hope. Me and Riqi Vélez will be in a concert. Look at my page, Franco Day 77.
R. Vélez Music on
R. Vélez
Insta.
Music.
R. Vélez
We
Music
thank you.
everywhere.
Thank you guys so
SoundCloud,
much.
YouTube,
All
everywhere.
love all day. Catch us next week. The Queen is back. Apollonia Cruz is back.
I don't know her. I don't know her.
All love all day, y'all.
It's been like deja vu. This ain't feeling right. Cause it's been like deja vu. Feel like it's been like deja vu. Know what to do. Should I let enough. Don't wanna repeat. You better prove to me tonight, tonight. Cause it's feeling like deja vu.